My first sign that something was wrong didn't come with flashing lights or a dramatic collapse. It came in the back of an ambulance while I was doing something I'd done hundreds of times. Preparing to start an IV on a patient my hands, normally steady with surgical precision, had a tiny shake unnoticeable to anyone else. Except me, I brushed it off as nerves. Then I had the incident where I collapsed on the bathroom floor after coming home from work in the auxiliary police department. There's something realistic about laying face down on a cold tiled floor. I knew it was time to see a doctor. Before we ever heard the words multiple system atrophy, we heard Parkinson's over and over again. One neurologist after another nodded thoughtfully, ran a few tests, maybe poked my knee with a reflex hammer and said, "Yep, Parkinson's disease." But deep down we knew that wasn't it. My body wasn't reading the manual, it wasn't playing by the rules. Something was off, and it was getting worse. We went from hospital to hospital like we were on some twisted medical tour. I went through every test short of alien probe, and one of the more exotic highlights, they put me in a glass chamber, cranked the heat up to 118 degrees, and told me to relax for an hour while Hawaiian music played softly in the background, while they said don't move, like I was able to go anywhere. I don't know what kind of vacation they thought this was, but I remember thinking, am I being served as dinner? If a luau pig could sweat, this was it. Then came the tilt table test, oh that beauty. Picture a carnival ride designed by a mad scientist. They strap you down vertically, start tilting you back like you're being crucified by science, and wait for your body to cry. Uncle. I lasted a couple of minutes before I blacked out and woke up back in my room. My wife hadn't even gotten her coffee before I'd taken a trip to the edge of consciousness and back. It wasn't just physically exhausting. It was mentally brutal. Every test that didn't give an answer just added more fog to the mystery. But I kept showing up, kept going back because I needed to know what I was fighting. Then life threw another curveball. My mother-in-law got sick and ended up seeing a neurologist over at Carnival Hospital. Not just any neurologist. This one actually listened. He treated her like a person, not a clipboard, and wouldn't you know it, she made a full recovery. My wife, being the fierce, protective soul she is, took a chance. She told this doctor about me, about the years of bouncing from one white coat to another, the stacks of medical files wet gathered like some tragic scrapbook, and the endless parade of blood work that could probably start a small blood bank. He didn't roll his eyes. He didn't dismiss her. He said, "Let me take a look." It was just short of a week later when we got the call to come in. I remember sitting in his office, heart pounding, trying to act like it was just another routine visit. He had me do the usual tests, finger taps, walk in a straight line, checking reflexes. But this time it felt different. He already knew something before I even moved. He set the file down gently, looked me straight in the eyes and said, "I read everything they were close with Parkinson's, but that's not what's happening here." Then he said it, those three little letters that would change everything, MSA. There's a moment when the doctor says something that doesn't sound like English, but you know deep down it just changed your life. For me, that word was multiple system atrophy. 3 words, not it's cancer, not it's a stroke, just something rare enough to make the room go quiet. Even the doctor stumbled a bit, like he hated to say it out loud. It's progressive, it's degenerative, it affects your nervous system, and there's no cure. And just like that, everything I thought I knew about my body, about my future, about my place in this world, my careers, I didn't cry. Not then, because it didn't feel real yet. It was like hearing someone else's fate, like reading a tragedy and not realizing your name was on the cover. The symptoms had already been there. Tremors, balance slipping, muscle tone fading like a carnival balloon. From the circus, I kept telling myself it was stress. Or maybe I was just getting older. But deep down, I knew something was taking hold. When they gave it a name, I finally had something to call it. But that didn't make it any easier. What they don't tell you is that MSA doesn't arrive all at once. It's not a car crash. It's a slow motion unraveling train wreck, a zipper being pulled on your life, one tooth at a time. First it's a shake in your hand that makes eating hard. Then it's your voice getting quieter. Then it's standing up and feeling the world tilt. People start to notice, but they don't see the fight that goes into hiding it. They don't see the hours it takes to prepare for 5 minutes of normal. They don't see you fall in the shower because you couldn't reach the towel. MSA is a thief in slow motion. And just like that, I went from being the guy who would try anything to the one people looked at with sympathy. You lose things fast, not just muscle or energy, but dignity. That's the worst part. You start measuring your worth by what you can still do, by how long you can hide the weakness, by whether or not people still treat you like a man. And when you feel it slipping, you fight like hell to hold on. But even then I didn't give up, not because I'm brave, not because I'm strong, but because I hadn't found my purpose yet. I wasn't done being here for my daughters, for my friends, for the strangers who might hear my story and say, yep, me too. So yeah, the diagnosis changed everything, but it also clarified everything. I had a name, I had a war, and I had a reason to fight.